Hello, Zach McNamara. I'd like to purchase your property in Eustis, Florida. I came across this property while working a data set with a friend of mine. We were in a big collaborative working on finding new locations for the specific tenant that we've been doing deals with. And we're going through traffic levels of business and different shops and looking for voids, looking for land that we could put this shop on and new markets to expand the footprint of this particular shop. And it came across your listing. It looks like there's a bunch of traffic there. It's the right size footprint. It's the right kind of neighbors for what we're looking for. And this shop isn't in your marketplace yet, but they should be. And so I'd like to make an offer to purchase your vacant land in Eustis, Florida. This offer that's included with this video is asking for some time. I'm asking for some time to talk to the tenant that I believe goes on this property. I've got a statistical fit, a business model that should put them there, and the financing to build the property for them. And I want to present that to them and tell them to use this property. At the same time, I would like to present this property to a bunch of other tenants that I work with and other shops that I believe could go here as well. I don't like to just rely on the one to do it. I'd like to bring others up alongside them and say, I could make this property work for you and get a couple of them competing with each other. But I believe it will go to this one particular shop that I modeled it out for. If you're open to that kind of offer, please take a look at my offer. My proof of funds are with the offer. I'm ready to pay for this property, but I want some time, work out the details with the tenant that I believe goes here first, and then go close with you as fast as I can after that. So please take a look at that offer, asking for some time, and feel free to ask questions. I'm an open book. My contact information is there as well. My name's Luke Smith. I love doing real estate deals on a statistical basis, on a data basis, and figuring them out with the data sets that I have, that I create, that I make, that I put together over time to do more real estate deals. I started with really basic desert square kinds of properties in the middle of nowhere. I started buying those properties and marketing them on the internet. I started adding access. I started adding utilities. I started splitting properties. I started doing lots of things to make those properties more valuable along the way. And I kept gearing up into better and better properties as I sold the previous ones or I did deals on the previous ones. Eventually, I got into portfolios of properties that had high traffic retail properties in them. And I started figuring out those properties. I couldn't sell those properties for the life of me until I had a tenant. And when I had a tenant for those properties, then they were really easy to figure out. But finding that tenant's the hard part. Finding that tenant, that specific tenant that has the time, that has availability, that has the capital, that has the willingness, that their business fits on that property all at the same time coming together when I want to sell the property, I want to make the property happen, I want to add value to that property, is a very hard recipe to pull off. And I've tried that on lots and lots of properties over time and all kinds of different markets across the country, all kinds of different brokers and all kinds of presentations. You can look at my YouTube channel going back for years of lots of presentations. You can look at TikTok of lots of different presentations. I've bought properties, I've sold properties through a lot of social media avenues, as well as traditional broker avenues and auctions in many different ways. The best way I can get those things liquid or to the value, more market values, is to have a tenant for them. And so what I propose in my offer to you is finding a tenant that fits this property, and then it becomes liquid. Then I cash you out of the property and take it from there. So I think I fill that gap of going from landowner to landowner with tenant, and it allows the property to transact, to happen and move forward. So please take a look at my offer. Let me know if you have any questions. You can get to the description of this video in the YouTube description section. I'll put a link in there back to my community on the internet. You can go to my community on the internet and you can learn about these kinds of properties. There's a lot of like-minded people. We talk about figuring out these properties, figuring out what tenant goes to these properties, how to make them happen in lots of different cases and scenarios. Lots of different tenants. We share names, we share brand, we share contact information. And I'm a pretty open book there. I have a lot of live calls that I do and presentations. Feel free to join me for some of those and ask questions. Ask questions on the board, on the internet forum, as well as in the live calls. I'm open for questions. I learn a lot from those questions. I go figure out the answers, or I figure out somebody who does, or the best angle or the best shot at them, and come back to whoever's asking them. I learn a lot by teaching. And so I love to teach on there and learn and progress my deals going forward in multiple different ways. And I get lots of partners. I do lots of deals with people on there in lots of different ways. If you're interested in the financing side of these kinds of deals, feel free to reach out to me on that board or look me up on ruralvacantland.com. You can see thousands of properties I've worked on, smaller dollar properties on that website, not the ones through the brokers. but smaller dollar properties on realvacantland.com website. My contact information is there, and feel free to reach out to me if you want to finance these kinds of properties, invest in them with me, or buy them off of me, or multiple different ways. I'm open for conversations. I can tell you about different properties that are coming up that are in the pipeline that might be the next one that I'd like to hand off or pass off and make it yours. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This is Luke Smith, realvacantland.com. See you in the next one. Bye.